Welcome to Beyond the Pom Poms, the first and only live interview-style web or TV series produced specifically to showcase pro cheerleaders and alumni. I'm your host, Austin Jordan, and as you can see at the bottom of the screen there, I do not have my normal co-host with me, Miss Selena Samino. She's on vacation this week, but she'll be back soon enough. But I'm honored to have a very special guest co-host in addition to our special guest tonight. She is a very talented TV and radio personality, a client of mine, and most importantly, a friend, Miss Carly McCord. Carly, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. This is just such an amazing idea for a show. I mean, you were just so innovative and creative because this really focuses in on these women. I'm just so excited to be a part of it.
Well, I'm honored to have you, always honored to have you. You know, even if we're blowing up our phones during the daytime most days, it's still always good to see you, you know, and all that. But yeah, it is an interesting little concept. I was really taken back by the response, and that said, I would love to take this opportunity to thank everybody out there for supporting Beyond the Pom Poms. When I did come up with this idea last year and started launching it last year, I had no idea that it was going to be this type of thing. I had no idea it was as groundbreaking as it is. And, you know, I really have to thank the fans and everybody out there for supporting it, the pro cheerleaders, the former cheerleaders, because I don't know if you guys know this, but all the credit goes to you. We've been ranked above Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN and NFL AM for the first 6 consecutive weeks of this show actually existing. 6 consecutive weeks. So thank you, and all the congratulations goes to you. Now that being said, let's get to the show, which is what we all tune in for, is to find out about these pro cheerleaders and former cheerleaders, the alumni, dancers, whatever you call them. Anyway, this lady that's on tonight, she is a Dallas Stars Ice Girls alumni and a pretty decorated model from what I can see and what I've found out about her. Anyway, without further ado, the one and only Miss Lindsay Marion. How are you doing tonight, Lindsay?
Hey guys, I'm doing awesome. Thank you for the honor. I'm excited to be on the show.
Well, you know, we really greatly appreciate you. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I don't know a whole lot about hockey. Everybody knows me. Actually, most people know me publicly as just some football guy, which is kind of weird because it's not something I've done for very long. Well, I've played fantasy football for a long time, since the 90s, but we won't get into that. But anyway, I don't know a lot about hockey, and I know even less about Ice Girls. So, Lindsay, just to start off the show here, since this is what people are really tuning in for, can you explain to me, since, well, I'm just not educated, what is an Ice Girl? I mean, are you like a human Zamboni? Are you cheerleaders? Are you dancers? Like, what is an NHL Ice Girl?
Okay, an NHL Ice Girl, we're actually all the following. We are a dancer, a human Zamboni, and a cheerleader. We do all of them. A lot of the other teams, their girls just skate and dance, or they'll skate and clean the ice. Our team actually dances and cleans the ice, which is like the #1 thing. So we cheer the Stars, and that's how it's done.
Okay, so Lindsay, tell me how you decided to become an Ice Girl. It sounds to me like you say you actually dance on the ice. Tell me, how did you decide one day that you wanted to do that?
Well, I grew up watching hockey. I'm Canadian, so it's in my blood. I am absolutely obsessed with hockey. And so when I moved to Dallas, I started going to the Stars games, and I would see these girls on the ice. I actually grew up in Toronto, and they don't have an Ice Girl team. So this was a first. I was like, wow, there are girls cleaning the ice. That is so cool. And so I looked into it, and I was like, wow, I'm going to do this. I've never done anything like this before. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and try out, and I did.
And you said you had to try out. So what was the audition process like?
The audition process is a lot like any other professional team, the Cowboys and the Mavs. The only difference is that we have skating. You have a skating portion. So.
And you said you're from Canada, so you probably knew how to skate, but do other girls, a lot of people in Dallas, know how to skate, or is that something they really have to work on?
Well, the first portion of tryouts, you try out either as a dancer or a skater, and then as you make it to finals or training camp, then the dancers do get on the ice, and they start skating, and they actually learn. I mean, we had girls that didn't know how to skate, and by the end of the season, they were on the ice.
Wow. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, I have a question. You said you didn't really come from that background. So what kind of background did you come from that would inspire you to be the ice girl? Did you come from dancing or cheering or any type of background like that before you tried out?
When I was really little, I was in dance, so like ballet, and I was a figure skater. So that was pretty cool. But most of all, I played hockey. I saw my brother playing hockey, so I grew up in an ice rink, and I was like, well, hockey is way cooler than figure skating. I'm going to go and try that. And so that is basically where, I don't know, that's how it started.
So, Lindsay, how long were you an ice girl for? How long did this journey last for you?
I was an ice girl for the 2012-2013 season, which is one season. And it was the best season ever, though. It was really fun.
Good. So, big life-changing experience, it sounds like.
Yeah, it really was.
What was your life like while you were an ice girl? Was it, give us, your typical week. What was game day like? Would you wake up every day? Would you have to go to practice every day? Did you have to, check in with a nutritionist, or I don't know how that works. I've actually met a lot of cheerleaders working for the NFL, and I know how intense that is. Is the ice girl scene just the same?
Yes, it's pretty hectic. For me, I lived over an hour away from our practice rink, and I believe we had practices 2 to 3 times a week. Both skating and dancing, working out. It was a lot. Plus, I was going to school full time, so it was going straight from school to practice, and then we had games during the week. And I mean, it was so much fun, but it was your life is so in a rush. You're constantly in a rush. It's a lot, but it's totally worth it.
Yeah, and it is a job, and that's what a lot of people don't understand about these professional cheerleaders, that it is a job, and it's a full-time thing. It's not just pretty girls out there wherever they're dancing. So speaking of that, what was the best thing about being an ice girl?
Definitely the best thing about being an ice girl, the friends that I've made. Some of the girls that I met on that team are my best friends still, right now, and it was awesome. I got to meet a lot of cool people. The fans were great. They're my friends now. I still communicate with a lot of them on Twitter. Confidence-wise, I think the number one thing probably about being an ice girl was it helped my confidence so much, especially it helped in my career that I'm in now, as far as modeling goes, and also I'm in sales for a company called Popcorn Indiana, and it helps me big time when it comes to selling. It was a total boost.
Well, that's kind of funny. You kind of touched on it. A question I had is, I see all these modeling pictures of you, and I was just kind of curious. So is modeling something you did before you were a Dallas Stars ice girl, or is that something that being a Dallas Ice Girls helped lead you to that career? How did that work out?
Yes, I did a little modeling before I was a Dallas Stars ice girl, but when I went into being an ice girl, I started doing a lot more. I got to meet a lot more people, so I had a lot more opportunities, and now I'm doing a lot of freelance, runway. I've been in a couple magazines, so it's been kind of cool.
That's really cool. And my next question for you was going to be what effects being an NHL ice girl, had on your life, mentally, physically, networking, and you've really kind of, covered all that. But is there anything that you think you've missed out that you want to let people know about, the experience that the impact that it had on your life as a whole?
As a whole, I think it was a huge life-changing thing. I mean, like I said, confidence-wise, it gave me the best confidence. I met some awesome friends, and an experience to skate on the ice during an NHL game. That's just, for me, that's a dream come true. So I love it.
Good. Yeah.
I wouldn't change it.
That's awesome. So I mean, it sounds like it's really totally built up your confidence. Which I look at you and I see your modeling pictures, and I find it hard to believe that you lacked in confidence. But that's a great thing that it helped that. And we've heard from a lot of cheerleaders and former cheerleaders, on this show, that the biggest thing they got out of it was networking and friendships, the relationships. And it sounds like that has definitely hit home for you. But anyway, we've kind of touched on a little bit. Why don't you tell everybody out there kind of what all you may have on the horizon? I know you said that you've been published, a published model on top of everything, but what kind of things do you have in the works? Any movie deals, modeling deals, or anything like that you care to share and put some attention on from everybody out there watching?
Yes, well, I'm going to continue working for Popcorn Indiana because it's an amazing company and I love it. But on the side, I'm still going to continue doing modeling. I've had a couple offers. I had an offer for a music video. I had an offer for a commercial. So I've had a couple acting opportunities, which I might start getting into. I just haven't quite decided yet. So, I love modeling, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I could see that. I mean, I think everybody out there watching can see.
I think that's a given.
Yeah, I said off air, I said, I think you look like Marilyn Monroe, but maybe a little better. So
you're like modern day Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Sophisticated, classy, independent. So anyway, well, if you would, why don't we kind of just start wrapping up here, since we've just kind of flown through things. So if you would, though, Lindsay, please tell everybody where they can find you, because we want to pump that, and you know, we'll do an article and a little write-up on beyondthepompoms.com for you. You know, help hopefully drive some traffic to your social media and things like that. But also, don't forget, you get a Hollywood credit for being on this show, which you've already received and got that whole IMDb up and going now. So yeah, definitely kind of just take a moment to self-promote. So hopefully you have the confidence to do that. We'll see.
Awesome, thank you. I appreciate that. You guys can find me on Twitter at Linz_Giselle, and I'll spell that out. It's LINDZ_Giselle, GISELE. And then I'm on Instagram at Lindsay Giselle, LINDSEY. GISELE.
Awesome, and Instagram is one of those things that continues to escape me, unfortunately. But I know Carly is big on Instagram and Snapchat these days, according to her radio personality.
I am big on Instagram, and you should get on there, Austin. You should get with the trends.
Yeah, you definitely should, and Snapchat, because Snapchat is so addicting. I'm obsessed with it.
Oh my gosh. Too. Both of you are. Anyway, Carly, since we've got already touched on, why don't you self-promote? Because you know I want you to self-promote. I mean, this is what a publicist's dream. Bring her on a show, a highly ranked show, and say, hey, Carly, self-promote yourself, please. So if you would, knock yourself out, Carly.
Well, I want to go ahead and just give a shout out to you, Austin, and how wonderful you are to me. And I just think this show is so incredible, like I said before. And Lindsay, you are just really impressive, and I'm so happy to be here tonight. And this is more than an honor to me to be able to do this, because this is what I love to do. You know, broadcasting is my life, and Austin, you've really, really helped me make my dream come true. And anyone, can always reach out to me. I love hearing from the fans, and anybody who ever has questions, you can find me. I'm pretty generic. I'm at Carly McCord on everything. At Carly McCord, CarleyMCCORD. So you can find me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook at Carly McCord. So like I said, pretty generic, pretty easy. But once again, I'm so happy to be here tonight. And thank you all for having me, and thank you for letting me contribute to such a great program.
Well, completely my pleasure. And, I definitely have to thank Carly for filling in for Selena. Obviously you can tell she's a true pro at this. She's 10 times better at this type of stuff than I am. I like having a wingman so that I can just kind of just sit here and direct the camera when it needs to be moved and just produce the show and kind of, here's some of the topics we want to talk about. I belong behind the scenes in marketing. I don't belong out here. I mean, everybody can look at me, and then you look at those two and you completely understand where I'm coming from here. Anyway, so I greatly appreciate you being on the show, Carly. I know your schedule is hectic because I'm privy to that information, so I greatly appreciate your time.
Unfortunately, Lindsay, you are.
Yeah, it's a juggling act that we do, but we do our best. But Lindsay, it's really great meeting you. I greatly appreciate you telling us all a little bit about your life before and during being a Dallas Stars Ice Girl, and a little bit on what's on the horizon and going into it. And definitely want everybody out there to follow these two lovely ladies. They seem to be completely awesome. Carly, I know really well. I know she's super awesome, and Lindsay I've known for a very short time, but she is just wonderful from everything I've known. So definitely check them out on their social media that they said. We'll do a little write-up and all that stuff. And thanks again for tuning in. You know, we greatly appreciate it. And without you guys, we definitely wouldn't be ranked where we're at. I'm just humbled and honored and had no idea that this was going to be quite this successful. So anyway, hopefully Selena will be back soon and all that fun stuff. But thanks everybody for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. Carly, Lindsay, appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Everybody have a good night, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.